and gentlemen, you know what time it is. Don't stop the party now because we are only just beginning. It is Thursday night, and you know what that means. It is a Technoid live episode. What is going on, everybody? Michael here. Welcome back to yet another live episode of Technoid, as mentioned before. Anyway, boys and girls, as you can see, we are still solo at the moment. We are waiting for the SMT, but don't let that slow the parade down because we are going to keep this show rolling as we go. So anyway, guys, thank you all for tuning in. If you're watching live, we appreciate you watching. For anybody watching on replay, hashtag replay crew. And most importantly, to any of you out there, my supporters, I thank you all for the new subscribers, returning subscribers, etc., etc., etc. Now, guys, real quickly, just going to say, Miami Heat are playing the Boston Celtics, and right now, guys, I am very worried because this is a super good team. Miami's got what it takes, but it's going to take a lot more than Jimmy Butler putting up 40 points. But anyway, let's go Heat, win or lose. But anyway, guys, let's start this up. So real quickly, before we start the show, as you know, as always, we got to get the BS out of the way. So for starters, the first thing we want to do is thank Rogue Energy for their continued support of the Technoid show. Again, we are going to make a quick batch right now, so that way we are ready to go for this live stream tonight. And I want you guys to remember that every time you use the promo code Technoid at rogueenergy.com, you find your favorite flavor, you save 10%, but also you get a healthy, delicious, and if I say so myself, nutritious energy drink. So make sure to go to rogueenergy.com, find your favorite flavor, at checkout, use the promo code Technoid, save 10%, and lastly, most importantly, enjoy your healthy alternative energy drink. Good to take to the gym, good to take when you're playing video games, good to have all around. But anyway, so without further ado, let's see who we have in our live stream. We've got Jared. He is in the house. Good to see you. My main man, the boy Richard. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you as always. Anyway, the more people will be coming in, so we will get this show underway. So, tonight's topics, we're going to talk all about the iPhone and the Usbc rumors. We're going to talk all about the potential of that happening because there was more than once. I've talked about this many times. But now it seems more than ever that the possibilities of an iPhone getting USB-C is starting to look very good. So let's pull up here the iPhone USB-C rumors, and let's start this show. So by now, if you haven't seen my latest episode of Technoid, nor have you seen any of the things going on right now with iPhone, etc., essentially the rumor is this. It seems that Apple is considering the possibility of finally putting the one port that I think everybody and their grandmothers have been wanting since day one. Now, real quickly, let's fix something because something is bothering me right now. And let's just see. There we go. That's much better. But anyway, taking a look at the reports, as I've covered in my other videos of Technoid, which I encourage you guys to please check out because there are more information. The rumors are as follows. It seems that Bloomberg is saying, and also going to Ming-Chi Kuo himself as well, it seems that Apple is indeed testing USB-C on the iPhone, and it also looks as if Apple will finally pull the trigger with the iPhone 15. Not the 14, the 15. So this will be a year from now. The report first started from Ming-Chi Kuo. Ming-Chi Kuo posted the report first, and then, of course, Mark Never Late Than Never Gurman, he came out and then, of course, backed up the rumor, and now we are in a situation where we've heard this story before. This isn't the first time we've heard that the iPhones were getting USB-C. We've heard these reports for 3 years now, starting back from 2019. The only difference this time around is that this is actually coming from two reliable sources in Ming-Chi Kuo and also in Mark Gurman. Excuse me. Now, here's the thing though. We already know that Apple is reportedly going all in on MagSafe. We've already known this. It's no surprise. We know that Apple is going to go all in on the USB-C. But, MagSafe. What am I saying? Getting my words twisted right now. But the thing that is actually making this report more solid, besides the claims, we're now starting to hear about the whole EU thing going on. So if you guys don't know by now, the EU is making a mandate mostly for Europe. And the mandate states that all devices have to have a USB-C protocol. Now, I don't think it takes a genius to know that the only manufacturer not using USB-C is Apple. That is the key to this whole story and really where everything is starting to make aligns. Because this is a mandate forced, not done by choice. This is being forced. This is forced on by the EU for Apple. Now, you can argue that it could imply for the United States, but the main push is coming from Europe. Now, in this report, on this exact article that I covered on my episode of Technoid, Mark did come out and said that they are working for adapters that will support USB-C, and these adapters will be able to change from Lightning to USB-C, and they will also follow suit with AirPods, any other products, etc. Excuse me. So, taking all the rumors in for just a second, let me just say this. I, for one, do not believe that Apple is going all in on USB-C. I, even though am a huge fan of USB-C, I've used USB-C devices, I have used USB-C products, MacBook Pro, iPad Air, Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and even though the iPads, the Samsung, etc., all have a great advantage with USB-C, I just don't see Apple going all in. I don't see this happening. But at the same breath, there is a huge possibility now because it does seem that Apple is willing to finally pull the trigger. But the question now comes, and this is the question we have to ask, just exactly why? Why would Apple do it now? Not for the EU, not for changing of the port, but just why in general would they wait now? Could it be because of a redesign? Could it be because of something else? Who knows? But here's what we do know. We do know that Apple has to follow this mandate. We do know that things are looking a little tricky in the world of Tim Cook. But one thing is for certain. If they're not going to go all in on USB-C, because when they put it on, they'll probably immediately drop it in favor of MagSafe. But here's the other thing that you have to consider. Lightning is the most outdated port to ever exist currently. It was cool when it came out, but it is outdated, it is slow, it is nothing like USB-C. So it would be very cool to get that port. However, though, the amount of marketing and tooling that Apple would have to do, that's like damage control at that point, because they've managed to go all in on this one port in Lightning for so many years that now they have to really make the case if they want to make USB-C a protocol. We got Zero Cool in the house. Good to see you, my friend. He goes, I'm definitely getting the iPhone 14. I definitely think I will be as well. Luna, nice to see you. They are probably making both versions. Yes, there is a possibility they could be doing two versions, where the European version could get the USB-C model because of the mandate, and maybe they just do an adapter in the box. That could be another possibility. Or two in one port. Don't know if that's possible, but definitely not off. They might make a splicer for both parts. That is part of the rumor that Apple will feature an adapter in the box, according to Gurman, that it will have the USB-C end and it will just convert it from the Lightning. So there is a possibility. We don't know. Now, real quickly, before we talk more about Mark Gurman, Mr. Late Than Never, Ming-Chi Kuo did say that based on a survey he conducted, that Apple is going to be, in fact, they may in fact do this because of the advancement in USB-C. However, the biggest limitation right now is the software, which is another topic of this channel tonight. The software right now as we speak is so limited. I repeat, so limited, ladies and gentlemen. It is so limited that even people are finally starting to realize that Apple is taking a step backwards in their software. But we'll get to that in just a second. But to wrap up and then to finally seal the deal on everything that was talked about tonight, here's the last thing you need to know. Here is the final coup de grace that you need to know. The thing is, with all this being said, it is just a possibility. This isn't facts. This isn't confirmed. This is nothing. We have already known for years that what happens behind the scenes on Apple stays behind the scenes. Apple has done this in the past. This is what Apple does. They do their testings with a USB-C model, but it never makes it further than past the drawing board. Now, with that being said, though, they do have models made, but it's just a matter of if they're going to do it and a matter of if they'll even pull the trigger. But I don't believe that they will. But at the same breath, the possibility of the iPhone finally having USB-C is something that is now looking more like a reality than ever before. And with that, before we bring on our second guest of the night, we're just waiting for him to give the thumbs up. But real quickly, because I want to get his opinion on this, I just want to say real quickly, guys, that I, for one, would love to see USB-C on the iPhone. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But will I rule it out? Probably not. And with that said, now we bring in our second guest of the hour, the man, the late but never missing a beat, SMT himself, Mr. Sneed Mobile Tech. How are you doing?
What up, good sir?
Where have you been?
Dude, I was literally just on Dennis's live stream.
I've been watching. I know that. So anyway,
It went a little bit too long, I suppose.
Nah, don't worry, you're all good. But anyway, Sneed, now that you're here, what is your reaction to this whole debacle of this whole iPhone USB-C? I've laid out every possible scenario of the possibility of Apple putting USB-C or just not doing it. So I want to ask you, what do you think?
Man, what's the over under, man? Is it like 50-50 that this is going to happen?
I
Or
think I think right now it's more possible than ever. So it's more 50-50 now than if you had asked me a year ago. And I'm gonna break down the timeline real quickly for you. So this all started when the EU made that mandate that all smartphone devices have to now implement USB-C in any type of faction. However, it can't just be a USB-C to a different port. It has to follow the protocol of USB-C all. And according to the mandate, this is only for the EU. This is not for the United States. This isn't for America. This is just for European markets. They have to now feature devices that feature USB-C. And based on the reports from Ming-Chi Kuo and Mark Gurman, they're saying that Apple is indeed looking to finally pull the trigger on the USB-C. However, though, with Gurman's report, he claims that for whatever reason, there's going to be some kind of adapter. If they can't get the port exactly on the phone, there will be a converter. So basically, you can plug the lightning end, and then the USB-C port will basically be where you charge, you sync, etc., etc. That's what Gurman says. Ming-Chi Kuo says no. They're going all in on the ports, and all the accessories starting in 2023 are going to be USB-C. And the first product that might be our confirmation of if this is a possibility will be the new AirPod Pro 2s. So we'll have to wait and see if the AirPod Pro 2s ship with a USB-C port, a Lightning port, or nothing at all. So that's kind of your timeline right now.
who do you think is more likely to be correct? I'm kind of leaning towards Min Chi.
Me too. I am leaning towards Ming-Chi Kuo. Nothing against Mark Gurman. I do appreciate his work, but Mark Gurman is a big child. And this is my thing. Anytime Ming-Chi Kuo posts anything, Gurman has to immediately follow up just to keep his street cred. And it's almost instantaneous how he does it. He just basically wants to get his name out there because Kuo beat him to it. But here's the thing though with Kuo. Kuo is not perfect either. Kuo has also made mistakes here and there. So he's not perfect either. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt. What do you think? What is your 100 honest opinion? Me personally, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't see USB-C happening anytime soon. However, the possibility of it happening now is probably higher than it's ever been. That's just my opinion.
So you're just basically saying it's an increased likelihood more now than ever.
Exactly. What do you think? It's a tough question. It's tough. I know. I don't know. It's tough to ask, but I would ask you, Sneed. Here's what I would ask you: Do you see Apple? Do you see them updating the Lightning port? Do you see them
What do
making
you
it?
up what do you update the Lightning port to? I mean, USB-C is the only sensible option. I mean, do you develop the what is it, the MagSafe? You know,
Yep.
do you just
Yes.
go that way and just develop that? I mean, I don't know what's left to really do and innovate with that, or is it gonna be something new entirely?
Me, the thing that I'm thinking. This is my thinking because
Either
I
way, people are
report.
gonna be pissed, dude. You know, they
Oh
start
yeah.
changing up charging ports and all that, like, people are gonna
See,
be like,
here's
"Oh,
what
I got
Zero
all
Cool
these
says.
cables and Type C and all that," you know?
See, Zero Cool writes the Lightning port can be upgraded to USB 3.0. So we do know that that the current profile for the Lightning port on an iPhone is 2.0. So if they were to upgrade it to 3.0, then you could match speeds and data transfers with USB C. But I still don't think anybody wants that. I still don't think that. What do you think? You there, Steve? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here with you. I
Well,
just getting back in here. I'm good.
nah, no worries. Take your time. Well, listen, I'm going to wrap this up because we got to move on to the next story. But I'll just say this: I would love to have an iPhone with USB C. I think that's a dream of mine to see the
Same, bro.
iPhone have
Agreed.
to see the iPhone make it to USB C is really a dream come true. But it's hard to want to say you think it's going to happen when we've seen Apple religiously refuse not to do it. And we know why they won't do it. It's not going to make them money. They get so much money licensing the port that if they were to do that, it would just it would lose them a lot of money. But at the same breath, though, if they did pull the trigger on USB C, the amount of versatility is going to be awesome. The amount of versatility, but you gotta wait and see. We gotta wait and
And
see
I
what
don't I
happens.
don't really see how they lose money. They start selling those cables and people go to the Apple store to buy them from them. You know,
Mhm,
they're not just gonna start putting USB-C cables in the boxes. They're not doing that. They can brand their own, they can sell their own and market it and push it and make money that way.
mhm. Well, we'll see because they do sell braided cables. It doesn't come with your iPhone because, of course, that's the next thing they're looking to take out of the box. But speaking of USB C, before you joined in, I said that according to Quo's reports, one of the biggest factors that has stopped them from making USB C was the limitation with iOS. And that's the next topic of our story because right now, Sneed, and I'm not the only one saying this, but right now, as we speak, there is such a bad rep with iOS 16. And Apple software as a whole right now is getting a big bad rep. Because according to some new early developer reports for the beta of iOS 16, again, according to Gurman, he says that the public betas are scheduled alongside of iOS 16 developer beta 3 in July. The first iOS public betas are typically released alongside beta 2. That means that the public beta will be running behind. And as it stands right now, the current iOS 16 is still a bit buggy. Now, to the common knowledge, well, yeah, because that's literally what all betas are like. But according to some several other developers, now they're saying that the whole operating system is just so buggy that they're now possibly delaying the release of the public beta and the developer betas as well. So, excuse me. Right now, Sneed, I think people are finally starting to wake up and realize something that I've been saying religiously for about a year. If you watch my videos, which I know you do, and if you watch what I've recently said about Apple's iOS software, they have taken a backseat on the software train. We've known that they've always been behind. We've accepted that Apple will never come close to Android in a million years. No matter how clean or simple or easy it is, they will never match the performance, the versatility, and they will never match the features when it comes to that. But one of the things that people used to say about iOS is it's the most easiest and simplest of OSs out there. Well, now that argument is starting to finally break because in the last 3 years, we have seen Apple's trend. They have started to care less about the software, and it's a shame because the hardware is there. Look at the iPad OS. It is so lackluster that the iPads they have right now running the M1 chip, they are so capable, but they're being held behind because of iPad OS. iOS, they haven't made anything with iOS to make it feel revolutionary from one OS upgrade to another. The last time that that happened was iOS 12 because iOS 12 was a simple but effective bug fixing software.
Do you think they'll scrap it and change directions with iPad OS?
I don't know. That was going to be my question to you: is where does Apple go right now?
No,
Because
they gotta make it more integrated for the hardware, that's for sure. I mean, you got a lot of screen real estate, you got a lot of power, there's a lot of things you could do. There's remember, it's got pencil support, it's got keyboard support if you know, like, we're talking about the Pro. I mean, there's so many things it could do. I mean, you really do have to customize that OS, and it could do so much more.
there's just one problem. It's just Apple being Apple. They're
Yeah.
holding back such a great product from being probably the best it could ever be. And right now, we're seeing developers, early developers, say that this thing is way too buggy for even a developer beta to be released. And it was reported by John Prosser on Front Page Tech that Apple is delaying the developers beta and the public beta as well. So everything's getting delayed. So my thing is with Apple and the software, you see, I don't ask for much because I don't care all that much about features. All I care is if the thing operates and works. But if you can't give a stable OS, or at the very least max out its potential for a specific product, then it's not going to last. My Apple Watch in the last in the last year has gotten more bugs than I have ever seen an Apple Watch ever have. And I have never seen the Apple Watch bug out until I owned this one. I have had the Series 3. That watch lasted perfectly, no bugs. It just got old. This thing is only a year old and it's bugging out like it's 3 years old. That's a problem when the hardware is only a year old. Even my iPhone 12 Pro Max, this thing is only a year old as well, and it's bugging out every other day. So at some point, Apple has to stop trying to do all these things with the software and try to do this minimal approach. They should pull. They should pull back what they did with iOS 12.
You think they're
Address,
just it's just stability at this point?
I don't know.
You think
I,
they're
I
trying to do
want
too much? You think they're not really polishing? You know, I don't know. Do you think it's
to.
attention to detail? Like, what do you think it is?
It's got to be attention to detail because no, I've used iOS through every incarnation. And I'm telling you, iOS 12 was the only OS upgrade that felt like they were attacking and addressing a lot of the issues being presented. That was the one OS where they blatantly came out and said, we're going to address the performance, stability, and reliability. After that, they went right back to what they were doing. And that's giving minimal upgrades, rushing out most of these features. The only time they ever took a step back were for like major features. But you know what? Actually, I'm going to highlight this comment. I like what Jared wrote. Jared writes, Tim Cook needs to do his best Steve Jobs and presentation and demand excellence. You know, I don't like to compare Tim Cook with Steve Jobs because I feel like we have to stop using that argument against Tim Cook because Tim Cook has brought Apple to new levels. But I will say, that is a good point. They should really demand at least the excellence of what the software can do. Because if we knew anything about Steve Jobs, he was all about presentation and details. And I feel like that's something that they're slowly not giving back. I don't know. What do you think?
The issue with anything OS related, right? It just you know how they do the betas?
Mm-hmm.
And you know how, like, they can get the betas out to people, and then people can start testing it, they get feedback, and they can get a lot of, collecting of the whatever errors and bugs are going on with that. Do you do you think they have a good enough team, large enough team where they're addressing that? I feel like possibly maybe the team's not big enough or not dedicated enough to that particular, set of issues that they're supposed to fix. And I think stuff is sliding by them and they're missing things. And I actually, you know what else we've seen, Mike? We've seen new bugs form after fixing bugs, right? So like,
Mm-hmm.
what did you break while you were trying to fix the other thing? So we've
That's
seen new problems arise while addressing old ones. And that's why I asked you if you felt the same as me, which maybe it was just attention to detail.
fair.
And,
It's
and these things
you're
get overlooked. All the money goes to marketing, all the money goes to hardware design, and all the money goes to all these other things. You know, the developers, the software people, maybe they're just getting deprioritized.
you're probably right. I really think also real quickly, David, the best AirPod Pro alternatives for an S22 Ultra user is your Galaxy Buds that come with every Samsung phone. Or if you want to go in my personal opinion, the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pros. That's just my opinion. But no, yeah, you're right, Sneed. And it's funny. It's funny when it takes the rumors of how bad a non-stable build of an OS is before they even announce it, before it finally starts to make people realize that the OS is just it's really not what it used to be. But I've been saying this for years. I've been saying it since the start of everything. I've been the one that's been vocal, but I guess people just don't see it the way I see it, and that's fine. But at least there's somebody out there who have multiple perspectives. That's the thing I like about the tech world. You could have multiple different observers that can see things that you're not seeing, and that is key. So, but anyway, moving on, and also real quickly, I'm watching the Miami Heat game. We are getting blown out tonight. I don't think we're winning game two. So, yep, that's just saying that. I don't actually think we're gonna win this series, but I'm still rooting for Miami till the end.
What you mean, bro? We could wrap up the show here after the next topic, and we can get to that game, buddy.
Hell yeah! Well, anyway, moving on to that. Let's talk Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. Something that I actually missed. I didn't talk about this when I was covering the Pixel 6a, and I gotta tell you, man. That's how do I put this? That was a really good move on Google, and I say that because it doesn't take sales away from the 6a. Because here's the thing about the 7 and 7 Pro. They only revealed the back of the phone, but they positioned it to where you have to watch and see what's going to happen. But we've already known that with every Pixel series, they're usually, at least in my opinion, they're pretty, remarkable when it comes to upgrading. And one of the biggest areas is right there, that camera technology in that RoboCop design. And of course, launching alongside the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro is the watch, and I believe the Pixel Buds Pro, which I will be reviewing hopefully soon. I just got to finish wrapping up my headphone reviews, and then we'll get working. But moving on to the 7 and 7 Pro, Sneed, I got to ask you because you're a member of Team Pixel. I hopefully will never be. I don't want to be a member of any kind of group because then it would make me biased to one side. And personally speaking, I'd rather be a fair person than be a part of a group. No offense. Um, I just have to ask you, what was your reaction when they showed off the 7 and 7 Pro on stage?
I felt like it's really premature, right, to be talking about these devices, which probably aren't going to launch until October or November. There is something to be excited about, and that's next generation processor with the tensor chip. So I get it. They're already trying to move on from the previous gen. The problem is they're making the 6 and 6 Pro look like an afterthought. Like, hey, that was our practice swing. Now is the real thing. So they kind of, I don't know, downgrade, I suppose, their current hardware. So because of that, it's kind of disappointing, but it does give us something to look forward to for those of us that have had issues with our Pixel 6 or 6
Mm-hmm.
Pro. We're looking at the 7 and 7 Pro to fix a lot of those issues, to be better than the previous generation. And, you know, I think a lot of people are looking for these bargains on these phones. Like they want the Pixel 6 Pro and the next
Mm-hmm.
generation will be the 7 Pro. I don't know what price point you want, but in order for them to be powerful and premium, they're going to have to be more expensive. I feel like that's something that Google is trying to wrestle. somehow make the most affordable flagship, you either make a flagship or you don't. I don't think there is supposed to be any form of affordable, right? People are going to spend $800-900, $1,000. You
Mm-hmm.
just have to give them the best experience you can for that money, and you got to compete with the Galaxies of the world, and you
Yeah.
have to stack up against the iPhones of the world, and that's just what you have to work up to.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And, a lot of people right now, talking about the 7 Pro, I think they're more excited for the fact that this phone will probably most likely just be a marginal upgrade rather than a huge upgrade. But I think most people are probably very excited for the fact that, if anything, it's probably going to deliver. It's probably most likely going to deliver. It's just a matter of, how. And I, for one, I would say for me, one of the coolest things that I enjoy about the iPhones and Pixel series and the Samsung series, I think the thing that I like about all three of them is that they all have something to offer that the other ones can't. Samsung gives you DeX, they give you One UI. Google gives you almost the premium Android experience of day one OS updates. Also integration with camera. Plus now they have the Tensor chip, and then of course with Apple, the Apple ecosystem. But I think that by showing the glimpse of it, you build the hype, but also you kind of stop the leaks of any reports of any phone, because during these times, people always report the leaks and everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you're basically beating them
They
to the
love
punch.
breaking those stories, dude. They love leaking out features and images and renders and all that.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say this. At the end of the day, for me, oh, excuse me, sorry. But for me, I for one, when I saw this on stage, when they talked about it, I thought it was cool, but I was more interested in the Pixel Buds Pro because you know me, I'm an Android user, so, and also, well, I am now. I'm back to being an Android user, and I am all about headphones, and I'm now excited to try out Android headphones made for Androids. So that's going to be pretty cool. I don't know what your experience is like, but you tell me.
I wanted to ask you about these Google devices. You remember how they did the whole I/O thing?
Hmm.
Just sales. What do you think is gonna sell? They announced a watch coming. They got the 6A, and then you have the 7 and the 7 Pro. These are kinda like the next
Hmm.
generation of hardware. I mean, sales matter, dude. What
No, yeah.
do you think do
Um,
you think all of them are gonna sell? You think some of them? You think one of them? How do you think it's gonna play out? Because sales matter now at this point, man. They're dumping a lot of money into the advertisement.
I think I think at this point and this juncture, I think what's probably going to sell the most, because I think right now, more than ever, Google really recognizes, they recognize that there's a lot of potential. And they finally have built out an ecosystem that can deliver. They finally have everything now. They've got the watch, the headphones.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
had they had the computer. I don't know if
yeah.
they gave up on that, but they
Oh,
had
yeah,
the
like the
computer.
Chromebooks,
Chromebooks, but like the
yeah,
premium Chromebook Pro,
right.
whatever.
Yeah.
So they have the ecosystem set up. So I think the biggest seller for them is going to be the A series, because I don't see the 7 and 7 Pro being the best sellers unless of course they turn a profit and sell millions and
So
millions.
I agree with the phone. I think the 6A will sell, and, David was talking about the economic environment. Totally agree.
Hmm.
The last time the economic environment was so unstable
Hmm.
was when was it the 5A or the 4A? And it sold like crazy. Sold
Yeah, you're
really,
right.
really well. But I think the watch is gonna sell the best.
Hmm.
Bro, they want an Android Wear watch that's good and is gonna get supported, and
Oh yeah.
it's a good looking timepiece, man.
Oh yeah, and I actually am looking forward to that watch. I made a stupid joke in that video, but honestly, though, I am really looking forward to see what it brings to the table, because there are so many reports saying that that watch has Fitbit technology. It's got this, it's got that, it's got this and that. So I really want to see just exactly what it has to bring. You know what I mean? So that's just me. Well, anyway, Sneed, we are approaching the final story. We are approaching our final topic, and then we will end this show for the night.
Let's
The
do the
last
last
topic,
topic, man. Let's do it.
the last topic is now Samsung. So for a while now, and we're gonna go into the audio department for just a second, because that's my kind of like bread and butter.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've noticed over the past several months is Samsung has seemingly started to change their directions with the Galaxy Buds. They went from being a nice alternative, a truly wireless alternative for any device, to now being locked in to Android only. They're no longer supported on iOS. I think they're even limited on certain Androids if it's not a Samsung device. And right now, as we speak, Samsung has not updated their lineup. They did release a brand new model, the Galaxy Buds 2, but a lot of users claim that the Galaxy Bud 2s are a watered down version of an already better existing earbuds, the Galaxy Buds Pro. But it doesn't seem like Samsung really cares about the audio department and care more about using it as a marketing ploy. Because the Galaxy Buds, whether people will admit it or not, they are the best selling truly wireless earbuds for Samsung. You can't sit here with a straight face and tell me that the Galaxy Buds didn't outperform the Pixel Buds and probably other third party
Sure did.
earbuds.
Absolutely did. Yeah.
It outperformed. The Galaxy Buds outperformed. And it seems right now they're on a huge roll with licensing because
Hmm.
it seems that that's their focus. Because right now they've turned for the Korean market, they are making Pokemon Pokeballs for the Galaxy Buds 2. But along the way, with all of the licensing, the marketing, people are starting to ask the question now, where is Samsung positioning these earbuds? And are they even going to be worth something? Because right now, the resale value for Galaxy Buds are so dirt cheap that you can just get them for free as a promo. That's how bad
That's crazy, man. That's
their
nuts.
value. So people are now asking the question, does Samsung care about the quality of the earbuds and are they going to up it in the time to come? So I would ask you, what do you think of Samsung's Galaxy Bud lineup and do you ever see them, I wouldn't say back to what they used to be because they are much better than what they used to be. But do you see them excelling? They haven't updated the Galaxy Bud Lives in almost a year. Excuse me. They also haven't updated the Galaxy Buds Pro. They only just released a new one. They now have only 3 models on the market: the Galaxy Buds 2, Galaxy Bud Pro, and Galaxy Bud Lives, which
What's the
is,
price point on those, Mike?
let us, you know what, good question. Let's pull up
That's
the
probably the
Samsung.
biggest X factor, right? Like people have to be able to come into these devices and say, I can afford that. I can pay that,
Mhm.
you
Well,
know.
that's the benefit with Samsung only having 3 models. They can now price them in any way that they want. They no longer have
Most
to
of their
have.
models are under 200, right?
Most of them are under 200.
Okay.
The Galaxy Bud Lives retail for 149, but are currently on sale for 99.99.
That's a nice price.
The Galaxy Buds Pro, being the premium of the earbuds, is 199. The Galaxy Buds 2 is $50 cheaper, is the same price as the Buds Live, but is on sale right now for 109. So they're currently on sale, and if you do this recycle an audio device or recycle whatever, you can actually save a few dollars off extra. So that's one of the cool things that I don't see audio companies doing is actually, is trading in existing audio devices and getting money back for, a new pair. So that's pretty cool in my opinion. But the biggest problem with the Galaxy Buds that I see as an audio reviewer for somebody who reviews headphones, they are more lacking in versatility than being a renaissance. Because one of the biggest things that I've noticed from the beginning of the series to now, they have moved away from customization. They no longer seem to care about, ear hooks, wingtips. They seem to now feature active noise canceling. They care more about, offering 2 models that will suit people's needs and income. but it comes at the cost of sound quality, performance, battery life, and also now being locked into Samsung. You can no longer use them for anything. And Latrell, here's my thing. You may say we don't care about resale value, but a headphone reviewer like myself, if we're looking to upgrade and we're trying to expand, we usually try to sell our earbuds to get money back to buy the newer ones. So that's why most people would care. I'm not saying you, I'm just saying as a reviewer for myself, what I typically do is when I finish a pair of earbuds, I resell them. So that way other people can use them and then I can just use the money to buy the new ones. But at the same breath, they don't hold their value very well. So Sneed, what do you think? You there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So my final question, and then we'll wrap up the show. Do you think Samsung is at this point just catering because it's part of their lineup, or do you see them actually, like maybe giving it a full 360 when they update the product? Because as I've said, as a reviewer, I'm seeing them take many steps back. They're doing exactly what every audio company does, but what Samsung's problem is that they're doing it in those areas where you don't generally cut back on. You usually excel in that area for value.
I think the bigger problem for Samsung when they make these products and they sell them, like they give them away for free with like pre-orders on with these devices, like with the newest Galaxies and the Folds and all that. Like you do a pre-order and they give you these promotions for these buds. Don't you think that plays down to the value proposition? People instinctively are going to think to themselves, these must not be great. They're just giving them away for free if I just pre-order the phone. So I think people's perceptions of these buds, they view them as like second rate. And
Hmm.
I've used a couple of these Galaxy buds. The sound quality is good, the fit's good. There's nothing like wrong with them per se. I just feel like it's a perception issue at this point. People don't perceive them as being all that special. I mean, Mike, it's hard to be special in audio now. I mean, the market's flooded, man. How do you separate yourself at this point? I mean, you review Anchor, you review all the sound core, the Liberty Pros. I remember when you did those. Um, I'm literally about to send you these earbuds. I just remembered this morning. I found the boxes. I'm gonna send over these Pixel buds for you to try.
Appreciate it.
And yeah, and like we're always looking for something to that allows hardware to separate itself from the rest, and it's the hardest thing to do. And you can try to innovate in pricing and features, but like there is an absolute ocean of buds out there that it makes it impossible for a company to separate their models and to stick out, you know?
Yeah. Well, here's where I answer that. One of the biggest things that Samsung did to stand out from the crowd that they're not doing anymore is they're touting AKG. Now, if you know anything about AKG, you
I
know
like
that
AKG.
is
I like AKG.
their studio quality. They
Yes.
they are they are the best you can get. And you would think because because Samsung owns Harman, they own the departments, you'd think they would continue to push that agenda of AKG. But no, they've taken steps back and are now targeting these as Samsung buds with AKG in the background. See, that's the biggest thing. You have a company that's reputation is still a very good reputation. Despite the audio engineers leaving, despite all of those issues, you have a company in AKG that can produce some of the best music possible, the best quality possible, and your thing is to just slap their name as a marketing scheme. How about you make them part of your lineup? For example, Apple Beats. They separated, but Apple still associates with Beats, giving them the technology, and the Beats are just an extension of Apple because even though they do their own things, they still link back together as a secondary option. Samsung could have done that. They had the N700 NCM2s. the N400 NC earbuds. They've got new models that have never been on the market for 3 years. And Sneed, this is what pisses me off. They're releasing 3-year-old devices, now putting them on the market as brand new for AKG. And meanwhile, on their website, if you go up to the audio department for just a second, if you want to look at all audio products, the only thing that they feature of AKG on here when it comes to audio, Galaxy Buds. They removed the wired earbuds. They removed all the AKG active noise canceling earbuds. They removed everything AKG and just pushed their own. So that's why I think they should have embraced AKG from the start, because that would have put them in a very good position. That would have put them in a very good spot. So, bottom line, for me, they ruined AKG. Samsung ruined that brand, and because of that, they've
It
ruined.
can't be fixed, can't be recovered.
Nope. Because
Sheesh, man.
you know why it can't be fixed and recovered? Because Samsung doesn't treat them with any respect or dignity. They use them as a marketing ploy. If they cared about the brand, the
Branding,
history,
essentially, a name.
everything, if they cared about any of that, the history, the legacy of AKG, they would have had that. They would have had that product in their store. They would have pushed it and not say, "Oh, we're tuned by AKG." That's just my thoughts. And that's why companies like Soundcore, Google, even Apple AirPods, that's why they've been able to hold reputation, because they partner up with Grammy award winning audio engineers to tune them. And with Google now they're starting to step up their game in audio quality. And then you look at Java, you look at Sennheiser, you look at Sony, you look at Bose. They're all established and reputable. That's why people don't have to question. People don't have to question those brands because they built their reputation. If Samsung had just did that, just embraced the reputation of AKG and just pushed their products with Samsung and feature the technology that are in the buds with their products, there you go. But they didn't. And that's it. That's that.
It's a daggone shame, man.
Yep. And with that said, Miami is losing badly. So listen, guys, I'm just going to say this before we wrap up the show. I love me, my Miami Heat. I don't think we're winning
Might
the
be
Eastern
taking a L
Conference.
here tonight.
Oh, we are, for sure. We're definitely taking it now. But I'm just going to say this. Win or lose this series, I'm just proud of Miami Heat. If you guys know anything about me, I'm a huge Heat fan. I've been a Heat fan since I was a kid. And honestly, I didn't think they would make the conference finals. I saw them making it to the second round. I didn't think they would get it this far. But honestly, Boston's just a really good team. They've got everything on there. So if by some miracle Miami somehow wins, I'll be the happiest guy in the world. But realistically, I don't see them making it out of
Hey,
the Eastern
Mike,
Conference final.
thanks for having me on the show, man. I appreciate the invite, and I was glad to be on for a bit. I'm going to step out, but big shout out to the Technoid Nation. Please do like, share, and subscribe for more. And I want to give a shout out to you, Mike, for all the hard work you put in on your channel, the daily uploads, the shorts. It's been excellent watching those consistent uploads. Thank you, man.
I appreciate it, Sneed. And with that, we will end the show. Thank you all for watching. Have a great night, everyone. See you on the next live stream. Take care and
Peace.
peace.